Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gentlewoman podcast with Grace Hayden. It's finals week, but yeah, it's finals week, and things are going pretty ham. Um, I thankfully got a lot done. Oh my god, we need to stop having the mirror in the background because you can see all the fingerprints. Whatever. Um, I thankfully got a lot of the non in person finals done before they were due, like really early before they were due. Because they were just stressing me out so much. I knew that if I had like two tasks to tackle, um, I would put more into the papers because I just enjoy papers more and I can put my focus into them better than I can put my focus into studying for something in person. So I was like, let's not self sabotage. So I'm working on a paper till like 12 that I just do, and then waking up super early in the morning to study for the in person thing. I was like, let me just get it done. Um, and I think that was very helpful. But this week and next is the time when in person things are rolling along in my life. And I really don't ever have that many in person finals because of the nature of the courses I take being political science classes. Like, it's like, more likely to be a paper that's due, like a big research assignment or presentation kind of thing, than like me sitting down and getting tested on something, like through a paper, through an oral exam. And unfortunately, that is not the case here. In a lot of the classes, we kind of had two big final things due at the end or like in the middle kind of thing, like a midterm, um, whatever. But yeah, so I've been preparing like all week and weekend for these upcoming finals. And it's just been pretty crazy, but I have one tomorrow morning at some point. I'm forgetting the exact time. It's an oral exam with the professor. One that is on Wednesday, that's like a written exam. Um, right after that one on Wednesday, I have a French exam, that's an oral exam. And then that next Tuesday, so not this week, but the next one, we have some like weird simulation exercise in my negotiations mediations class that started late, so we're ending it late, which um, isn't my favorite thing, but whatever. And yeah, we don't get the instructions for that one until like a week beforehand, so we don't even really know what that entails. So we just kind of have to hope for the best with that one. But today I went to the BNF Richelieu, I want to say it's called Richelieu. It is this beautiful, beautiful library. No, my mom always calls me while I'm recording. Okay, so now I have more editing to do because my mother called me and I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but we'll try to get over it. like I don't know how I don't get a freaking phone call all day, and then the second I sit down to use my video portion of my phone, and it doesn't stop the video, but it stops my voice memo recording, which is the problem, really. So every time, like every time I've tried to record a podcast, it's either been my mom or Asher calling, and I'm just like, do you guys like sense that I'm doing something that I need you to not call me for? Like, whatever. Um, Baffled that that just happened because it continually keeps happening. But we'll try to move on and get past it. Uh, so yeah, today's just one of those studying for finals days. It friggin' sucks and it's beautiful outside and I want to be outside like just laying in the grass somewhere, like literally just reading a book, listening to music, absorbing the sunshine. That is not what the universe has in store for me right now, as if I did that, I won't be prepared tomorrow. So, or this week. So, yeah, not my favorite thing. But we are going to talk about things or a challenge that I've challenged myself to. And yeah, I'm just not the most like happiest person right now or high energy today. So I'm just kind of forcing myself to make the podcast because I know I want to hold myself to a committed activity like this. Um, but yeah, you can tell, not in my brightest of days. So basically, I have been on a 21-day challenge that I started last Sunday. Um, don't even know if I talked about it in the podcast. Oh, last Sunday's podcast also uploaded weirdly. I don't know why I'm like a 50-year-old all of a sudden when it comes to technology, but I tried to use GarageBand to record and then it uploaded like I sounded like an Alvin and the Chipmunk, not on YouTube but on Spotify. And then I just tried to open GarageBand and the file's gone. So I'm going back to trusty dusty voice memos. Um, because I don't know what the problem is there. But um, yeah, so I woke up. I'd gone out to dinner with my friend the night beforehand, and oh no, wait, it was a Sunday. So I woke up on Monday, like I'm done. Yeah. It started on Monday. I had these little, you can see my little charts on my wall. So I woke up on Monday, and I don't have class on Monday, and I only had one glass of wine at the dinner beforehand, and the night beforehand. But kind of every night that weekend, I had done things I really didn't want to do and spent money that I really didn't want to spend. Um, so that was really confusing for me because I often don't do things I don't want to do, but I just was doing things I didn't want to do and spending money I didn't want to spend. And I don't know, it just kind of freaked me out a little bit that I was like doing things that I don't really align with. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try not drinking for 21 days. I don't really give a freak what happens, like, to my social life if I don't drink. Like, doesn't really matter. I feel like when I drink here anyway, I don't even get, like, there is no, like, added fun because the situations we often get put in here are not that fun, at least in France with, like, the clubbing and drinking and bar scene. So part of me was like, why waste the money? Part of me is like, alcohol is really bad for you. Like, it's probably one of the worst drugs for your body that you can be addicted to or just like consume. And three, I just want to hold myself to something. 21 days, so 3 weeks. I think when I woke up, there was like 3 weeks left in April. So I think I started on the 7th. Um, that could be totally wrong, but maybe it's not. I don't know the exact day I started. Oh, the 10th. Okay, yeah, April 10th, and I'm ending on the 30th. I think it's 21 days. I think I did the math right. Oh my God. One. We're not counting that. We're not doing that. I cannot be trusted to count. Like, I was doing the math the other day on some like internship offer that I got that was trying to give me a stipend, and I came up with the math that I'd be making like $85 a week, which is horrible. But then Asher let me know when I gave him the math that it would be more like $180 a week. Still not great. But I was just like, what? Like, who? This is why I'm not going into anywhere near math and why I struggle in every single math course I take. But I'm just like, who said that like the way I divided it is wrong and the way you divided it is right? Like that's what I don't understand. I'm like, how are there rules made up? Like we made up math. Like the literal names for these numbers could be anything else. Like it could be giraffe. Giraffe could represent 2 at one point in history or maybe one day in the future. And like elephant could represent 3, and then you're going to try sit here and try to tell me that like it's real and like it's not made up and it doesn't have to do with people. Like no. No, no, no. So, yeah, math not my strong suit. However, I can check off a chart every day that I do something. And that does give me a lot of dopamine and has the ability to make me look forward to something at night to do. And I know that's a little corny, but when you live alone, like, and you live in like a shoebox of a house, like, there's nothing to look forward to when you get home. Like, you have your crammed little space. Showers aren't enjoyable because they're in like a little box. Like, everything is so small. I have to like live, like, I'm so excited to go back to America for the pure fact that like everything is bigger. And I don't know if that's just like the American way, but um, I feel like trapped. Like, because of size though, like, and just sleeping on a, sorry, this turned into like a complaining podcast, but sleeping on a pull-out couch for the past 5 months has been awful. It hasn't even been 5 months yet, I don't think, but it will be by the time I leave. Like, there is permanent damage to this back of mine, which there already was permanent damage to this back of mine, so that's not good. However, I'm basically 7 days into this little adventure. I think today's the 16th, but since I started on the 10th, that like counted as a day. So I didn't drink all weekend or all week. We did like a class drinks situation. Didn't get a drink then, just got a Coke. Went out yesterday all day with my 2 friends. And they were great and didn't drink anything. When they started drinking later in the night, and usually in Europe, like you'd have a glass of wine with your lunch or something. So I'm not even letting myself do that. I think a lot of people I've talked to have been like, not even wine. And I'm like, no, not even wine, because that's still alcohol. And wine is like not worse for you, I guess, but it does have a lot of sugar in it and whatever. I want to like assess how I feel, assess my mental health. I often really like get really bad anxiety even when I don't get like super lit. Like sometimes after like 1 drink or like 2 drinks, I'll be like, what the, like, did I say anything? Did I do anything weird? Like blah blah blah. And that's also strange and something I need to work on, because I shouldn't have anxiety, because I should just be like confident in how I act and like who I am. And I am, but I don't know, just so weird. But yeah, 7 days in. And I think a big part of many people's abroad journeys is about the going out and the drinking aspect of it, or maybe the like just substances aspect of it, because you have this club scene available at your fingertips all the time. But I was trying to explain it yesterday, and it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, although I'm 21, like just like 21 for however many months, 7 months, I don't like align with the club life like I may have used to. And I just think the superficialness of it all is so awful. And I've just, like, at this age, like this specific point in my life, like I just don't have fun when I go out to these places. Like I so much rather a dinner and drink situations where like the place kind of turns into like a nightclubby scene as it gets later to specifically going like waiting in the line, paying to get in, like standing around, like bobbing around because no one can dance because there's too many people and you're trying to get a drink and you can't get a drink and the music is awful because they're playing American like 2013 bangers and you're like, I can't hear Timber one more time by Kesha or I'll jump off this balcony that I'm on. So it's definitely like a privileged problem to have, like not liking clubbing because like who asked me? Like I don't it doesn't matter that I don't like it. I just don't go to those places and it's fine. Like it's really just not that big of a deal. But I think the culture around drinking when you're abroad, it's just so like oh my god, like we have to get the like $2 wine, $3 wine and we'll just like get drunk and then we'll go to our club and we'll get our free drink because it's a $26 ticket but you get a free drink. Like that vibe and I'm just like so over it. I've been over it. I haven't really been taking part in it. I think I've been to under 10 clubs while I've been here, which is crazy considering the fact that people usually go every weekend, like probably once a weekend. Um Maybe twice a weekend, honestly. But what I don't think I have done here yet is go without drinking, like drinking period, drinking wine, drinking an Aperol Spritz, drinking a beer or something for this long. So that's pretty crazy because I think like more often than not, I'll have like a dinner on Thursday and I'll get a glass of wine with my meal or something on Saturday and I'll get a little cocktail, like something like that. Like even though it doesn't feel like drinking because it's like a sweet little sugary drink, like it still is drinking. Um, but yeah, so what I'm trying to say is I think this is the longest time I've gone without drinking while I've been here. Maybe a little longer that I've gone, but 21 days will definitely be the longest that I've gone because I have like traveled and drank and like gone out to dinners and drank and whatever. Gone to parties, gone to clubs. Clubs not that much. Parties not really that much too. Just like events, I would say. More so than anything else. But yeah. And what I'm also trying to do in this 21-day challenge is get movement in every day. And I'm not trying to categorize that as like a necessary workout, but I had a day last week where I like could not get out of bed. Like for the life of me, could not get out of bed. Um like just needed to be in the darkness. And I think, everyone needs those days sometimes, but because of that staying in bed all day, like I got like no steps in and I definitely didn't feel my best about it. So I just wanted to try to commit myself to like not having another one of those days for the rest of the month because it was a lot. Um, Even though I was resting, um, for someone who's not in the mindset all the time that rest is good for me. Like I do believe rest is good for everyone, but sometimes for me specifically, I'm like, but not for you. Like you don't need that. It's really tough for me to like nap and stuff. So, and this was like not just a nap. This was like I didn't get out of bed until I had a dinner reservation at like 7 p.m. that I metroed to. So I like didn't walk around at all. It was horrible. So I'm just trying to get more steps in and make that more part of my day and even just take a break with a walk. So with my walking, I'm trying to do that more in silence if I can, like not listening to music and not listening to a podcast and just kind of like thinking with my thoughts, coming out with ideas, thinking about, like my future and school and what's happening in my life now. Trying to be present with myself too, like not trying to go on all these stream of consciousness weird places, just trying to be present and say like I'm on my walk in Paris and I'm gonna look at the flowers and enjoy my view and maybe I'll go grocery shopping, like whatever. And for the running movement, I've only gone on one run since I've started my little movement journey, but that's okay. Um, so no pressure to go like on runs or super long mileage walk. I'm even counting like steps, like getting my steps in, getting like 8,000 or above as my movement. Like that's kind of my goal of the day. Um, Especially with finals, it's really tough to like set my work aside to focus on myself and get some fresh air and stuff. But that's what I'm trying to work on. So ensue the challenge. Um, but for my running, I need a better playlist just because I can really only run when I like really like the song and can like vibe out to the song and just like really enjoy myself. So I'm creating that playlist right now. And I've also decided that the songs all need to be under 3 minutes because the second like a song goes over 3 minutes on my run, I'm like skip. Like I can't listen to it anymore. It's just too long at that point. So I'm trying to strategically make a running playlist. If anyone has any suggestions, I would love to hear them because it only has 6 songs in it right now and I haven't even been running. So that's a thing. Definitely will start more the second finals are over because then I'll have like time to breathe and not worry about school. Um, but I guess, I mean, I don't need to talk that much longer because we already have a lot of content. But I was just thinking about like with the waking up and like wanting to do something, I kind of felt that was a gut instinct of mine. Like it wasn't like I want to do it. It kind of felt like no, Grace, you have to like challenge yourself to something because this experience all in all like hasn't been that challenging for me. Like I've moved to new cities before. I've lived alone before. I've been thrown into a new public transit system before. The only thing that's really different about here is like the language barrier that I've never really had before. Um, but yeah, I mean, school hasn't been the hardest thing ever either. Maybe getting there has been the hardest, like, because I have like a 40-minute commute on the metro. From the time I leave my house to the time I get to school, it's like about 40 minutes, which I'm definitely not used to at Maryland. I can just walk to my classes. So that's been an adjustment, but everything else, like, hasn't really been challenging for me. And so I just wanted to challenge myself to something and see if I could do it. And I know I'm going to do it. Like, if I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. So I'm just excited to see how I feel afterwards. And I think, like, just trusting my gut instinct a little bit. I've been having some problems with it here, which I usually don't. So that's just interesting. I think it's because just I'm so like far away from everything I know and my people and home, whatever home is. So I've been struggling a little bit to trust my gut instinct. So when I woke up with that, like, no, 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 you're gonna do this. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do it. I made my charts. I fill them out every night. I've been posting it on my Grass Hay account, and it's happening. So yeah, and I think it's really important for me to have people around me too that support what I'm doing and don't kind of say like, well, why are you doing that? Or like, oh, but like you could cheat for this. Like, I don't need that energy in my life. If I'm telling someone that I want to do this, like, I just want them to be like, okay, slay. Like, that's amazing. You got this. Um, so I think it's just really important to remember like who supports you when you're trying to keep a change or when you're trying to make a change, and then you should keep those people around. Um, but yeah, that's all I really got, Gentlewoman listeners. This was my break from finals for the day, so I gotta get back to it, and then I'll make some dinner, and then I'll go to sleepies and wake up in the morning and have my finals this week. Okay, love you all. Thanks for listening.